All right, I'm going to go through another example of how to find the vertex and y-intercepts and x-intercept and sketch the graph. Of course, since our function is in vertex form, we should see the vertex quite easily. Remember that h is a liar, so instead of being -3, it's +3, and 4 is our k value. So find the vertex is easy. X-intercepts. That's the harder one, so I'm going to skip past that right now. Actually, I'm going to go and do the easier one. So let's find those y-intercepts first. So remember that when we want to find a y-intercept, we do that because we can do that because we know that the x value is 0. And so when I say that y equals, so 0 minus 3 squared plus 4, and then we just need to simplify that down. So I want to follow PEMDAS when I simplify. And so I want to look inside those parentheses first. So 0 minus 3 being -3. And then I want to go to the exponent. So -3 squared. -3 times -3 is 9. And no multiplication or division to do, so then go straight to the adding. So 9 plus 4 is 13. So that means our y-intercept is at 0, 13. And then I go to the x-intercepts. So we know that the x-intercepts was when y is equal to 0. So I'm going to take that equation and set y equal to 0, so that means that 0 equals x squared, or x minus 3 squared, plus 4. And now we need to solve for x. And so that means we're going to be using SADMAP to do that, going backwards through our order of operations. So I'm going to get rid of the 4 first. And so that gives me -4 equals x minus 3 squared. And then I want to get rid of that square next, so it would be square rooting. And so on that, on the right hand side, the square and the square root cancel, so we're just left with x minus 3. And on the left hand side, so the square root of -4. Right, so remember what the square root is, it's a number times itself that's equal to, so the square root of 4 is equal to 2 because 2 times 2 is 4. Right? Or the square root of 4 could also be -2 because -2 times -2 is 4. Right? So what number times itself is 4? Right? Well, 2 times 2 is 4. 2 times -2 is 4. So what number times itself is -4? Well, 2 times -2 is -4, but that's not a number times itself. So there are no real numbers that when I multiply them by themselves give me -4 as an answer. Just like in the same way, like the square root of -9 is not 3 times -3, because that's not a number times itself. So square roots of negatives, those are not things we can do. So what this is saying is that we can't go anywhere with this. There's no value here. I can't continue this math. Well, there's a reason for this. If we plot what we know, all right, so I've got some big numbers here. Let's see. Say if that's 5, that would be 10, that would be 15. I'm doing this because my y-intercept is up here at 13. So our vertex was at 3, 4. So somewhere in this space would be where my vertex is. And then our y-intercept is at 0, 13. So somewhere over here is where our y-intercept is. Remember that this is, parabola has an axis of symmetry, right? It would be mirrored. So whatever's happening on this left side would be mirrored on the right side. Well, the only information I have right now is, to continue drawing this is to go from the vertex to the y-intercept, and it would curve something like that. And that means that this side would also curve something like that. Well, so we kind of see back why we don't, why weren't we able to do this? Why weren't we able to find the x-intercepts? Well, because it doesn't cross the x-axis. So there are some times that happens where the graph just does not cross the x-axis, so we can't find any x-intercepts. Find y-intercepts, we'll always be able to find a vertex, we'll always be able to do these two things. But sometimes we cannot find values here. They don't exist. So just running that, so that's square root of a negative. It's going to be that key there. All right, one more I want to show you guys earlier. Negative 5 plus 3 squared. So negative 5 plus 3 is 2. Negative 2. Negative 2 squared is 4. So that 4 ends up in front of the a. So here we have the 4a. And then we go to solve. So how do we write the equation of the parabola in vertex form? So the vertex form is y equals a times x minus h squared plus k. So if we think about what we have, right, how are we going to do that? Well, we need h and k. Right, and so what's h? H is our 3, it's going to go here, right? And k is our negative 2, our vertex. But we still also need a. Well, if I want to know what this is, I have to know what everything else in this problem is. Okay, so in order for me to know a, I have to know y and x and h and k. Well, look what they're giving me here. They're giving me a y and an x value. So we also know that this value here, 2, that's an x value, and this value here is a y value, so let's go there. Now we can see that we know everything else but a. That means we can find out what a is. So 3 equals a times our x value, which was 2, minus our h value, which was 3, squared, plus our k value, which was negative 2. So again, make sure this does say minus, because that's a positive 3, so as it comes in here it says minus 3. There's that liar thing. Okay. And then here I should simplify that. I don't want to write plus negative 2. I'm just going to go ahead and write minus 2. But now we need to solve for a. But before we can solve for a, we need to simplify first, because there's too much going on the right side. Okay, so simplifying, we go inside the parentheses first. So I get 3 equals a times 2 minus 3 is negative 1 squared minus 2. And then I go to exponents. So I'll be looking at the negative 1 squared next. So 3 equals a. Negative 1 times negative 1 is positive 1. Let's do, and be really careful about this. Don't look here to try to do any math. Remember what this is. It's a times 1, which would be 1a, right? Or really just a, but 1a. Then, now that I've done that, now I'm ready to solve. Now I'm ready to get a by itself. So it's really about simplifying this value here. So 2 minus 3 squared goes in front of the number, and we did that. So 1a minus 2 equals 3, so of course I just need to get a by itself, which we add 2. So that means that 5 equals 1a, or 5 equals a. So now I know a. Oops. So what do we need to know? We need to know h, k, and a, and then we can write the problem. So y equals a, which is 5, times x minus h, which is 3, so x minus 3. Again, watch that sign. It says positive 3, so we write minus 3. And squared, and then plus k. Well, our k value is negative 2, so we're going to say minus 2. So there's our equation in vertex form. So I hope that helped to see some more of those. Let me know if you got questions.